It's the Sick Show. It's the Sick Show.
It's the Sick Show.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Hey, listen. So, I made a commitment here. I want to get back on the podcast, um, just back on the podcast train, and keep providing you guys with things. I had a really interesting fall, and just got a little bit crazier than I anticipated it being. And I'll I'll be honest, there were times I was a little overwhelmed. Um, but I really enjoy that process. I'm one of those people that kind of thrives under that pressure and that pressure cooker situation. Um, I was reading something recently. It was talking about people with creative minds. Not that I'm, Mr. Creative Mind, but I do have somewhat of a creative mind. But those folks thrive under pressure, whereas other people may take months and weeks to create something. And let's say you have a 4 week span to create something. Some people may take, a few days a week to start that process and get things working. But it was saying that those with a creative mind, um, they will, they will put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off until the very last minute, and then boom, they rock it out. And there are some things I do that with. My podcast sometimes is that way. With what I do for work, typically there's a lot more planning that gets involved, and I don't do that. There are a few components of it that do work out that way, where just that inspiration piece comes along. But I started thinking about you know the amount of time I put into work over the fall. I was working a lot of hours. I was working weekends and um, later in the evenings. Heck, there was times I'd be laying in bed, and some of you may do this where you're laying in bed and it's like you got to get up in the morning to go to work, and it is 11 o'clock, and you're looking at the clock. You probably should have went to sleep at 10:30. You start kind of stressing about that a little bit. Next thing you know, it's 11:45. You toss, you turn, maybe you nod out for a minute or two, but you wake back up and your mind is kind of racing. You're thinking about the sleep you're losing for one, and then that bleeds into, God, I got this stuff I got to get done tomorrow. I got to go to sleep, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, it might be 2 a.m., 3 a.m., for me sometimes 4 a.m., and you are going bananas. Well, a few times that has happened to me in the past few months. I just get up and come up and go to work. I mean, I work from home now, so I'll just come up and get some work done and get that out of my mind and push forward. Here about a week ago, it happened to me, and here I am. It's 4 a.m. I think it was December 30th, and it's 4 a.m. Jennifer's getting ready to get up in about an hour to go to work. Finally, I just, I don't know, kind of willed myself to sleep. And I realized, dude, I need a vacation, need some time off, need to relax. But on the other hand, I have a lot of things on my plate still that I need to get done. And so just working some extra hours and trying to figure out when we can get some vacation time in. And when I was young, I can remember a few vacations my family took and how important those seemed to my dad, to my mom. To me, it was really cool, but I was a kid. It wasn't like I was going to work. Typically, this was in the summertime when I was out of school that we would go somewhere, which is bizarre because my dad had a mowing business. So it wasn't like we could just escape, right? I'm kind of figuring out how he did it now, looking back, but just kind of weird. The timing of all our vacations was summer. Partly, it's typically when everybody goes on vacation, but anyway, I ramble on about that for a while. But I can remember a few vacations my family took. We went to Opryland, Dollywood, Silver, man, my fat tongue is working right now. Silver Dollar City. Oh man, Silver Dollar City was one. My mom would not go on roller coasters, and they had this ride. There was a mine ride, and I convinced her maybe 12, 13 years old. And I convinced my mom that it was just a mine ride. You're just, trolleying through and kind of seeing, all the mannequin people that move around, and you hear the chipping and, all that stuff, that it wasn't a roller coaster. It was just a mine ride. It wasn't going to do anything dumb. And we're trolleying through there, and we go into this cave. And all of a sudden, you can start hearing the train horn and the light that's right up ahead of you. And the train horn's getting closer. Now you can hear the engine. It's getting louder. It's getting louder. And the light's getting closer. Whoop, whoop. There is the train right in front of us. And it's kind of like, oh shit, we're going to get hit, right? And then the roller coaster takes a dive and just takes off rolling like crazy. I just remember my mom screaming. She was so mad at me, but she enjoyed it, man. It was so good. It was so funny, to a 12-year-old kid who loved playing pranks and loved to see my mom smile. That's one of my favorite memories of going on vacation, was the mine ride at Silver Dollar City out in Branson. We had some relatives out there, and that I think may have worked at Silver Dollar City. And it was a great time. But, we would go there. We went to Myrtle Beach once. Oh my God, man. Gatlinburg. My parents would like rent a lake cottage for the weekend up on Crooked Lake up near Angola for a weekend. We had a friend, Marcia Clark, that was a childhood friend of my mom's. And Marcia owned multiple lake cottages up on some of those lakes up north. And we would go up there, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, just how glassy that water was in the little peninsula we were on, and the drive coming up to it, and the big windows. It was really cool. I had to sleep on the couch, but that was cool too. I mean, didn't typically get to sleep on the couch. Sometimes we'd, God, it seems like we went to Kings Island all the time. We did a lot of Kings Island trips for a day. We'd take our cooler up there, and so you take your cooler, throw it in the back of the car, wake up early, head off to Kings Island, and get up there, go on rides. Everybody's going to meet back at a certain point at, X time. And then you go out to the car and you get out the cooler and everybody eats. We laugh, and man, just great times. And then everybody take back off. We go back into the park and hit all the rides, and it was a great day. Went to Markle. Markle's got a cool little swimming hole up there, Pine Lake, for a family swim day. More than once, we'd all load up in the back of my dad's 64 Chevy 1-ton dump truck, and we'd ride that thing up to Markle. Now, listen, this thing was as rickety as it sounds, sidewalls falling off of the bed, basically all wood. And it was just strapped together with rope and tape and, a few screws here and there. We'd head up to Markle or Pine Lake in the back of that thing, about a half-hour drive. Oh, my God. I mean, it'd be a cause for child neglect today, I'm sure. But we had a blast. Nobody died. We had a great time. Oh, those places were so cool. You'd go down the slides, and I'd watch my brothers go off the high dive. I never did. I was chicken shit. But, all those trips have like free parking space in my mind as warm reminders of a great childhood. And most of the time, my folks were in good spirits, and, they showered us with laughter and opportunities to experience something that was larger than Hartford City. Of course, there was stress that came along with it. My dad would have to use his deep voice due to a bad meal or something, or, maybe getting more towels for the hotel room. All of us being tired at some point and grumpy and ready to come back to the comforts of home, of course. And, there was a time when we got slammed into on our way to Myrtle Beach. We were going out there. I think my cousin, Mark Toby, was in the Air Force at the time and stationed either at Myrtle Beach or somewhere near there. I can't remember. I was pretty young. But we went out there to see them. My aunt and uncle and my cousin Angie, they were all out there. I can't remember if Angie's, one of Angie's friends, Holly Malott, was with her or not. But it seems like she was. They were always together. But anyway, like all those free parking space all the time, constant. And there's times when I have reminders of those vacations. That time we were going to Myrtle Beach. My dad had just bought this car like 2 days before. And before, like, maybe even the day we went on the trip, he might have bought this car. And we take off in it, go to Gatlinburg, I think, for a day, spent the night, got up, got in the car. So we've owned the car for 2 days at this point. We're getting ready to get on the interstate to head towards Myrtle Beach and get flipping slammed by another car. Hit right in the ass and spun us out, totals the car. It was bizarre, man. Like, didn't even see it coming. It could be, if my dad was here to tell the story, I'm sure he would tell about how, some asshole crossed a line or did something wrong. But I was in the car long enough for my dad to know, odds are he probably went 3 lanes over because he was missing a turn to get on the interstate. But I was in the back seat, and when we got hit, I got like thrown from the driver's side to the passenger side or vice versa, and dislocated my thumb. It was like laying up near my wrist, and broke the seat belt. I mean, we got freaking hit. After all this is over, get the car back together with some red tape from the truck stop to create a light, a tail light. And this thing, we drive it from Gatlinburg to Myrtle Beach, probably 6 hours. We drive that thing out there, spend a few days at Myrtle Beach, and then drive that thing all the way back home. But he got that car fixed. It was I don't remember what year this car was, maybe an 88 or 86 Olds Delta 88. It was kind of a metallic light blue with it was a Royale Brome. I'm sure it had the Brome top, and man, it was a nice car. He got it fixed. We drove it. Like, he drove it for quite a while. I might have drove it when I was 16 a couple times, but he drove that car for quite a while and ended up getting in another wreck and had to go buy some parts to fix the front end because the front end got knocked off too. But Jennifer and I think both of us had similar experiences. She talks about, and I don't want to speak for her, but she talks about going on vacation with her parents, and most of the time it was just driving. They would drive and drive and drive and just, stop at a hotel and spend the night and get something to eat, and then drive and drive and drive to wherever the location was. And, that kind of gave her the love of travel as well. And we have always tried to do something every year, whether it be with our kids or, now on our own as empty nesters. Jennifer and I, we love to travel. We enjoy the architecture of different cities and, going out to the southeast and seeing those old cities in Wilmington and Savannah and, love Hilton Head and those areas. We enjoyed Myrtle Beach and Virginia Beach, a little bit touristy for us. Galveston was really cool in its own way. I mean, we enjoy that type of stuff. So we want to see other places. And the problem is, and I've talked about this before, that we start envisioning ourselves living there. And, what would we do? Where would we live? Oh, could we live in that neighborhood? Would we want to live down near downtown? And how fat would we get from eating all the great food that's there? Anytime we travel, we always get the same kind of questions when we get home. As I would suspect many of you do too. It's kind of like this. So here we are. We're back from vacation. Another trip in the books. And the first question everyone asks, did you have a good time? As if good time was some quantifiable metric like miles traveled or souvenirs purchased, as if a week away can be boiled down to a simple yes or no. Like I mentioned, there's those great times you have and the big smiles and just the joy and the amazement and the awe of another place. There's also those frustrations that come in. So you can't just boil it down to that. It's more than that, isn't it? It has to be. Because let's be honest, good time can be fleeting. A good meal, a funny movie, a pleasant afternoon, those are good times. But a vacation, a real vacation. That's something different. It's an investment. We feel it's an investment in ourselves. And frankly, we think it's the most important investment we can make. We live in a culture that's obsessed with productivity. Go, 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 do, do, do. We're constantly told to optimize, to maximize. Heck, I'm doing this on a computer that is designed to make our lives easier. Has it? We've become much more productive. We've realized that it's become easier, but because it's easier, now we have to add more things in. And we have to squeeze every last drop of efficiency out of every single minute. That's what keeps me up at night. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. Oh, I'm so swamped, I might say, with some weird, strange sort of pride. As if me being perpetually overwhelmed somehow equates to me being important. We're often reminded of that in our careers too. How's work been? Busy, I reply. That's a good thing, right? Well, of course it is. But is it? I mean, I think there's a value in pace as well, and finding that perfect work-life balance. What are we working for if not to live? And I mean really live. Not just exist. Not just going through the motions, ticking boxes on some weird, never-ending to-do list. We're working to experience life, to savor it, to create memories that will outlast the deadlines and spreadsheets and emails. And that, my friends, is where vacation comes in. Think about it. When's the last time you truly disconnected? I mean disconnected. Not just turn off your email notifications while, so let's be honest, still checking them every 5 minutes. Like, oh, I haven't got a notification. I better look. I mean, truly disconnected. I'm talking about a complete and utter severing of the ties that bind you and your daily grind. When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be? Imagine this. You're sitting on a beach, watching the waves roll in. And this is me, right? This is what I enjoy. You're sitting on the beach, watching the waves roll in, and that sun warming your skin. The breeze is carrying that scent of the salt and seaweed. Sometimes the ocean does kind of stink, but there's a reality to that smell is nature. It's not the farm that is, spreading manure. It is not the local factory that is creating scented trash bags. It is the ocean. There's no other way to describe it. And for the first time in months, and some of you maybe even years, your mind was quiet. Not empty, mind you, but quiet. The constant chatter, the endless stream of worries and obligations, gone. Just for a little while, but it was gone. And in that quiet, there's something magical that happens. We start to notice things. Those little intricate patterns in the sand, when the water comes up and the waves ripple and pull it away, and it creates this quilt work of sorts. The way the light shines and dances across the water as the waves are moving. The sound of the seagulls calling to each other. The simple things. Those ordinary things, but things we may have been too busy to see for so long. We get so caught up in the big things. You know, the promotions, the raises, the milestones, the years passing, that we forget about the small things, the things that actually make up life. Riding in the back of that old dump truck and laughing with my brothers, and them telling me I'm gonna fly out and bounce on the road. The shared laughter with loved ones, that smile my mom would give me when we were on vacation, and she was so happy that she was able to provide something special, different, out of the ordinary for her son. The unexpected beauty of a sunset. Uh, one of the joys that Jennifer and I have found is just sitting on the beach, watching the sunset, other people gathering, and we all just kind of applaud when it's over. You just kind of clap, and it's like, man, that was really cool, right? These are the moments that matter. The simple joy of a walk in nature. These are the moments that matter. The moments we'll remember long after the quarterly reports are all forgotten. Man, we were on vacation in Panama City years ago. It was over New Year's, right after Christmas, and we're walking through this wildlife reserve, and there is a deer stalking us on this trail. I mean, legit, a deer stalking us. I'll never forget that. I don't think Jocelyn will ever forget that. I don't think Jennifer will ever forget that. Vacation isn't about escaping your life. It's about rediscovering it. It's about giving yourself the space to breathe, to reflect, to reconnect with yourself and the people you love. It's about coming back to your life with fresh eyes, a renewed perspective, and a heart full of memories. We're not machines. We're not designed to run at full speed 24/7. We need downtime. It's important. Like, think about how important sleep is to our health. I think there's a similarity to that, sleep and vacation time, that downtime. We need rest. We need to recharge our batteries. And sometimes it means more than just a weekend at home. And man, let me tell you, I love a weekend at home. Don't have to get up and brush my hair. My hair's going bananas right now. And just hanging out on the couch. We got our puppy and that stinking guy. Jiminy Christmas. But sometimes it just means stepping away completely. Immersing ourselves in a new environment and allowing ourselves to be present in the moment. How many of you do that? How many, even through the day? There are times I just, if I'm out driving, I'll pull my car over into a park and just sit there for a few and just kind of take a moment to just disconnect. Not because, it's just too much, I can't take it, but more of just all right, I need a few minutes. I need a few minutes to get myself together. I need to just take a breath and not forget that I'm a priority too. So that next time you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, burned out, whatever you might call it, remember this. You deserve a break. You deserve to disconnect. You deserve to invest in yourself. You deserve a vacation. It's not just a good time. We talked about good times can be had. Man, I can go out tonight and have a good time. But a true transformative experience that will leave you feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to embrace life with renewed energy and enthusiasm. Because in the end, it's not about how much you work. It's about how you live. And a well-lived life, I believe, includes a healthy dose of vacation. So, folks, take one. Take one. Think about the things you spend your money on and it just dwindles away. Save a little bit of that. Save a little bit of it up. Plan for a decent vacation where you can just get away. Put it down. Enjoy life. Get in touch with yourself. Oh, I mean, like, I'm there's a gal we went to school with. Her name is Kathy Gorley, and she has a practically perfect vacations with Kathy. Check her out on Facebook, and she's someone that we're going to be looking into, I'm sure, in the near future. We'd love to do a Hawaii vacation, like a legit, let's go for a week and experience that. But we also know that's going to take us some time in planning. It's not going to be a, hey, let's do this next week kind of thing for us. Number one, we can't afford that. Two, I think it takes a little bit more than that for someone like us. We're going to have to plan for it, but take that time. You're worth it. Folks, I'm glad to be back, kicking out some podcasts for you. And I look forward to just a weekly conversation. Sometimes I'm going to have guests. Sometimes I won't. I've talked to a few people about coming on. And I look forward to just having conversations again. And, for me, like I'd said, it was kind of therapeutic. Today's been a little bit therapeutic. My last podcast there on New Year's Eve, that was very therapeutic as well. I enjoy this. I enjoy just kind of coming up here and talking to you. And hopefully you got something out of it. So until next time, guys, you got a short one here today. I know I'm typically in that, hour plus range, but got a short one today. And well-deserved. I think that's it. Go take a vacation. Take some time off. Find yourself. Disconnect. We'll talk soon. Thanks, everybody.